Hello, and welcome to the recording for the First Data Equipment and Point of Sale Solutions training call for Ignite Payments. We're going to be doing an overview of the equipment options that you have available when you're out there in the field to set your merchants up with. We'll be discussing Class A and B equipment, the platforms, some connectivity options, and we're going to do an introduction into First Data's terminals, POS solutions, and touch upon the PayEasy gateway that we have. We're going to show you an equipment grid as well as discuss with you how to shop for the equipment and the support you have available. One of the things, our favorite radio station is WIFM, W-I-I-F-M, which stands for What's in It for Me. With First Data, you have the opportunity to have state-of-the-art equipment that's all in one. You don't have to go to different third parties, and you have available multiple payment options with entitlements built for the First Data systems and platforms. Our terminals are easy installation and offer the channel partners like Ignite the ability to sell the First Data equipment, whether it be through a purchase or a lease. One of the things that's very important is that when a merchant purchases a First Data piece of equipment, it increases the likelihood that they will stay in your portfolio because that's the brand they know, use, and have become accustomed to. There are classifications for terminals, and we have two of them. The first one is what's called a Class A, and that is a fully supported corporate terminal through corporate. You order that through the agent office, My Agent Office, MAO. You can do downloads through the agent hotline, and you can use the POS help desk. The POS help desk will support any questions from merchant or agent, download support, and ongoing technical support. Class B is a little bit different, in which that is for processing only. That is, you cannot order that through your agent office shopping cart. That must be ordered from a vendor directly. That would be a third-party terminal. That is not a First Data terminal. The POS desk will not help support any questions for a merchant or agent. They will direct the questions to the vendor. So you have these two classifications. Just so you know, the Class A is First Data terminals, and Class B are not First Data terminals. You have platforms. In the platforms here, there are two platforms. You have an authorization platform and a settlement platform. To make things simple, the authorization is the front end where the merchant gets the settlement, and the settlement platform is the back end. And what that is when the transaction starts and captures the transaction, the authorization, that's considered the front end. Once that merchant were to batch out and settle their account, that would be considered the back end or the settlement platform. And that would be when money would start to be dispersed and paid out to the different entities involved. On platforms, you have the Omaha platform. It is not the most popular or common one. You won't see that very often, but sometimes you will see that. There are certain cash advance products that have to go through Omaha, so you might see it in a situation like that, but it is not going to be frequent. The most common one is the Nashville platform. That is for your basic terminals, certain POS systems, certain internet gateways, software and lodging hotel applications, and that also supports level 2 data. That is your most common and popular platform is the Nashville. The CardNet platform is often used for software and VARs. And what that means is that you're going to come across merchants that have certain custom software and they only go through the CardNet, or VARs might be third-party POS systems, and this is the platform that they get boarded on. CardNet also supports purchasing level 2 and 3. If you're not familiar with purchasing level 2 and 3, Those are typically your corporate cards, purchase cards, government, federal, state, and city cards. Very often go through level 2 and 3, which require additional data that is requested on the transaction. The next platform is what's called Bypass. That is for some terminals and POS systems, but it is the platform to use that supports supermarkets and pay-at-the-pump fleet cards. So if you sign up for a supermarket or a gas station and it's a pay-at-the-pump, or they use fleet cards, in other words, businesses come into them that have a fleet of trucks and they give them cards to use for repairs or purchases or gas, they would have to be boarded on the Bypass platform. The Compass platform is what our PayEasy gateway is boarded on. That supports multi-currency. I highly recommend you find out about that, especially if you are from a city that has a lot of visitors from out of the country. If you have an area that gets international customers that come in on a regular basis, the Compass platform with PayEasy might be a very good option for tourist areas because it allows dynamic currency conversion and supports multi-currency processing. Those are both very lucrative for you. So the multi-currency means if someone's coming in from a list of other countries, they would be able to pay in their currency that they're accustomed to, and the merchant as well as you make additional money on that. The dynamic currency conversion is if you have a merchant that is a e-commerce and they have their website that their customers are purchasing from other parts of the country, they would be able to, again, pay in their currency that would convert it for you. It also supports level 3 and it allows a merchant, if they have e-commerce, to be able to accept alternative payments such as PayPal, Google Checkout, Bill Me Later, and Acculink Pay Secure. We're going to switch over and I'm going to show you the equipment grid for you to have available. The equipment grid is a dynamic table and it allows you to pull up and see which POS or which terminal is available. As you can see on here, on the equipment grid, if you go into My Agent Office and you go to Resources, you go to Equipment Grid. And this will pull up an equipment grid. What we recommend you do is you click on Advanced Filter. This opens this window here. And you can come here and choose and filter down what you're looking for. So if you're looking for terminals that will take PIN debit, and you can choose which terminals you have here, whether it be the authorization platform or if it's new, you can come here and choose different options for you to pick from. So these give you we'll pick a couple here so that you can see. We just do a terminal, new ownership on Nashville, and we do first out of terminals, and when you click the filter, it would do a search and it'll pick up the retail solution, and they show you. So these are some different options. You can break this down further. So we did a Trans-Armor. We did a Trans-Armor solution, PIN debit, Nashville, First Data. So what I recommend is that you do play around with this and get accustomed to some of the filters, because this can help you with what you choose to recommend or talk to a merchant about. we're going to switch back over to the presentation, and we're going to continue to go through some of our POS equipment. What's great about First Data is you have an option of terminals, gateways, POS solutions, and software. And together, that all gives you payment solutions. When you have more options for your merchant to choose from, it helps you to have tools to make that sale. And when we talk about terminals, we're talking about face-to-face or wireless. When you talk about POS systems, you're talking about turnkey solutions for inventory control and accounting. Software can be installed on a computer for face-to-face and non-face-to-face. And then, of course, you have gateways, which you can have virtual or for e-commerce. Connectivity. Some of you might not remember, but there used to be phones like this with dial-up that would take you about 3 minutes to dial out a phone number. This is called an analog line, and it's still very popular and common out there in the industry because most fax machines need to go through an analog line. But we are all converting over to IP or Ethernet data wire that would be used as a high speed. And the other that most of everyone is familiar with it that we have in our houses is Wi-Fi for wireless connection within a business or a household. And of course, the cell phones have changed the industry, and you have wireless, in which you can have terminals that are wireless or to transactions through a cell phone. There are some videos here. I recommend you go to firstdata.com/EMV. and you play the EMV videos. I'm not going to show that here because the sound won't come through as needed, but if you do type in firstdata.com/EMV, you will see the videos talking about the EMV changes and how it works. Let's talk a little bit about our terminals. We have the FD130, which is your basic cost-efficient terminal. It will do a variety of options all in one. You have the FD200, which is a very good terminal, but it also offers you check processing right over here. Checks go through here, and on the right side, the credit cards go through. The FD300 is a multi-merchant terminal. The FD410 is a mobile unit, a wireless terminal. And the FD35 is an additional peripheral that plugs into some of these other terminals. So this pin pad is needed for the FD200 and the FD300 to use pin debit and contactless. But the FD410 and FD130 have that all inside. It's all in one. The mobile pay that we have will work with any iPhone or tablet or Android, as well as iPad. Let's talk a little bit more in depth. You have the FD130, and this is a terminal that's ideal for small to mid-sized businesses. It's a full-service processing. It also takes PIN debit, signature debit, all the major credit cards, contactless, gift cards, checks, using a check reader, and it's a fully integrated terminal with a built-in PIN pad. It also will work via Wi-Fi. You have what's called the FD130 Duo, and what that means is it's just two components. It's the FD130 with a external piece of hardware, the FD pin pad. So that is the pin pad that you are getting right over here, the FD35. That is what the Duo has. It has an external pin pad for going across the counter. It's ideal for small to mid-sized businesses. It also accepts PIN Secure and Signature Debit, all major credit cards, full processing, and it's a very affordable price for everything because you get that with the FD35 PIN pad that offers EMV contactless as well as PIN debit. This terminal also is available on Wi-Fi. The FD200, as I said, it has an integrated check reader right over here on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side it has a credit card reader. It's an inkjet printer in there, so when the checks get read, it comes back with an approved or denied receipt like a credit card, but it also stamps void on the check that the merchant can hand back to their customer. It will contact through Ethernet, analog, and Wi-Fi, and it's the ideal solution for merchants that process lots of check transactions. The FD300 is no keypad for it or keyboard. It has a nice digital screen. It supports up to 99 different merchants, whether it be different tax IDs or the same. So this is very, very common if you have one desk and a dentist and an orthodontist in the same office checking out, or a chiropractor and a occupational therapist or massage therapist in one office. Or you might have a business that is a retail and a wholesale. So this would be something for multiple merchants to have set up. The FD410 is a completely mobile wireless terminal. It's a full credit card processing terminal that is on the go. It works like a cell phone. It prints receipts. It also has an EMV reader, contactless reader, a print-to-life 10-hour battery. It supports credit, debit, EBT, certain telecheck products, gift cards, and is an excellent option for people that go to functions or trade shows as well as deliveries. It is wireless, so there is an additional cost to it for a data plan, just like with a cell phone, and it's designed specifically for merchants that accept payments on the road. The FD35 pin pad, as I said, is an additional piece of hardware equipment. It is used for some of our terminals to be able to add on to that contactless, EMV, and PIN-based debit. The points for the first set of terminals is you have the ability to accept all major bank and credit cards. You're going to keep costs low with the in-house terminal and printer combination. The transactions are faster going through us, and they're all intuitive with touchscreen displays and use. It's quick and hassle-free setup. One of the things that I like about our terminals is that all the system software works the same. So if you know how to work the FD200 Ti, you know how to work the FD130. Our full terminal suite and merchant benefits is the sleeker. The peripherals empower the merchants to accept any type of payment. It offers analog and IP connectivity, and they all have the option to be protected with our Trans-Armor data protection encryption. The mobile pay that we have is one of the reasons is that we have it is because you want to be able to compete. And smartphones have become very popular with merchants using them to take payments, especially micro merchants or flea markets. But some statistics recently show that that the craze is continuing with the smartphone and the payment. And in 2011, there was more than 500 million smartphones shipped globally. According to Nielsen report, 46% of mobile users have a smartphone. Between 2010 and 2011, that's an increase of 61%. So you want to be able to tap that market and utilize that, and we have that option available. It's an app they download and a dongle, a piece of hardware that plugs into the audio jack that encrypts the information. How it works is, as I just mentioned, they download an app, they plug in the piece of hardware into the audio jack, a card, they go into the app, they swipe the card, and it reads it. Supported is the Android, the iPhone, and the iPad. Why sell it? It opens up additional markets. You may find you sell someone a mobile terminal today, and they're buying 3 FD410s from you tomorrow. And it gives you a competitive offering because they are out there, and you don't want to have to say no. We do have some robust POS solutions. We have our first set of restaurant solution. It is a fully functional POS system, very robust, that would be in line with the Micros, the R-Power Tallies, and other well-known POS systems out there. You get a full bundle with it that includes a cash drawer, a kitchen printer, and the keyboard. One of the things that you have is that you do get 4 years of warranty, software, and upgrades, which are not common in the industry. You have also, just like the restaurant, a retail POS solution. This is a completely fully functioning, robust retail option that comes with a lot of the hardware that you need. It's a fully integrated system, and it's independently owned business that, you know, if you had 1 to 4 stations, would be perfect for them. What this has is, again, the cash drawer, the barcode scanner, a keyboard, but what it also offers is the poll display, which is necessary for some states by law to have a consumer-facing poll display. And this, too, comes with hardware, software, and upgrade included in the purchase or lease of this equipment. Our PayEasy is our gateway. If you don't know what a gateway is, think of yourself on one side of a river and a business you want to get to on the other side, and there's a bridge that separates the two sides of the river. You need to cross that bridge to get that. The same thing works if a merchant has a website and we are the processor. They need to bridge the gap between the website and the processor. And a gateway is what that is. It's a gateway to connect the two and for us to do the processing for them. On our PayEasy gateway, we have the real-time payment manager, which is a virtual terminal, and that allows a lot of merchants that do back-office processing or Modo processing to be able to manually enter that. We have the hosted checkout, which is helps with the merchant's PCI compliance because it is not hosted on their website. It is something that we host. It would be a pay button that would open up an additional window into our system for the consumer to add in their credit card information. So we would be handling the security and the fees behind that, the processing. You have the web service API, and what that is that's a fully customizable gateway. It allows the merchant to have a custom shopping cart, but it does mean that they have to have a HTTPS, a secure checkout for that consumer. When you're talking about talking to merchants on these topics, one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that you ask questions. You should be probing questions. You should be asking, do you have your customers pay online? Do you have a shopping cart? Do you conduct business out of the country? Do you sell internationally or plan to in the future? So there are different questions you want to ask, and you want to make sure you ask questions that will open them up to speaking and having a conversation. When it comes to ordering equipment, you just would go to My Agent Office shopping cart for Class A only. You would order your new equipment with or without programming. And what that means is with programming is that would be shipped. You would already have a merchant number. You would give it to them and the information, and they would turn around and ship that terminal programmed and ready to use. Without programming, it would be shipped unprogrammed, and you would have to do the download and programming on that. Now, the benefit of without programming is it is a lower cost to you to be shipped that way. For additional ordering options, you have Task, which is where the equipment comes from, but you may want to order a skid or a pallet of terminals. Maybe it'd be new or refurbished, so you had on hand. So if you wanted, let's say, 100 FD130s to have, you would order that directly from Task and have that in your office. You have a lot of support that's available, and on the agent hotline, you have technical support for downloads Class A, terminals on Nashville, terminal testing, batch troubleshooting lookups, and switching a merchant from analog to data wire. It's important to note the hours of operation. This is Pacific time. That's 5:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. For terminal downloads and support, you have the POS Help Desk, the Omaha Help Desk, the Bypass Help Desk, and Aprivia. So the Aprivia is mainly for your mobile pay. You also have on the MyAgent Office, you go into MAO, Resources, Training, Agent Training, and you have the terminals we spoke of before. You have on-demand videos and PowerPoint presentations, and you could always do keyword searches. That is the presentation at this time for First Data's POS solutions and terminals. Thank you. Please contact a director or one of the trainers for additional questions or information that you might need. Reach out to your internal support might be your first option, and then you could always reach out to a trainer or a director. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and helps you to make sales and leases of merchants and equipment.